approaching from Pod 3. Direct hit, sir!
Do you want to experience the thrill of a real arcade cabinet in your own home? Well, in 1981, if you had a spare 30 quid lying around, Astro Wars was probably your best option. Hello YouTube, I'm Retro Steve UK, and welcome to another Retrospectives video, this time covering the vintage electronic tabletop game from 1981, Astro Wars. I never originally owned one of these back in the 1980s, but boy did I know about them. Astro Wars was one of those machines you'd drool over in the catalogues and really hope to receive on Christmas morning or perhaps on your birthday. I did get to play on a school friend's machine on one occasion though, and I do have one now, thanks to the magic of eBay. As you can see from this Argos Catalogue page from 1982, the game originally sold for around £30. My eBay purchase in 2024 set me back just under £60 for a boxed working model without a manual, and that price does vary depending on the condition of the machine and the box. So let's journey back now to 1981 as we take flight and defend the Earth from the evil alien forces contained within this wonderful little tabletop game. And don't forget, you can skip to different parts of the video if you need to by using the chapter markers that I've placed along the timeline. The electronic tabletop game Astro Wars was released in the UK in 1981 by Grandstand Leisure Products, who licensed it from the Japanese toy manufacturer Epoch. Epoch were also known for producing toys such as Barcode Battlers, Sylvanian Families, and the CassetteVision games console. Epoch sold the game in America as Galaxy 2 and in Japan as Super Galaxian, although it still had the white Astro Wars title printed above the screen. There is also a variant which was released in the UK which had a red Astro Wars title on the front and an extra white stripe around the screen. It's generally believed that this was an early release and is now rarer to find on the second-hand market. This black and silver beauty was designed to resemble an arcade cabinet, and it does a pretty good job of it too, with its bulky body, joystick and fire button control panel, striking Astro Wars title marquee, and its slightly concave screen which magnifies the VFD gameplay area and the atmospheric space scenery artwork housed inside the machine. The game is most comfortable to play sat on a desktop, but it can be rested on your lap whilst playing if necessary. Controls on the front panel consist of an on-off slider switch, a select button for changing game modes, a start button, joystick and a fire button. The brushed metal joystick has a satisfying amount of resistance and feels like it has some quality to it. The plastic fire button is large enough to sit comfortably under the thumb and gives a definite soft click feedback when pressed. The black and silver design continues around the left side and back of the machine, and there's a power socket on the lower right side with a sticker detailing what batteries to use and which type of power adapter should be used. The manufacturers recommended using a Grandstand universal mains adapter with negative polarity. However, these days any universal adapter with the appropriate plug will work fine as long as it's set to 6 volts and negative tip polarity. On the underside there's a small area of embossed text which reads Copyright 1981 Epoch Co Limited, made in Japan, patent pending. And the battery compartment cover here slides away to reveal space for the 4 C-cell batteries that power the machine. The box for mine has seen better days, but still contains the flexible cardboard insert that helps protect the machine when it's stored inside. The front, left side and right side display more or less the same image of the machine over a Space Nebula background. The game title and Grandstand logos are displayed prominently, with the model number 11183 and electronic game in each corner. The back lists some of the features and shows a pictorial overview of the 4 different stages in the game, and on the top of the box there's a description of what to expect when you play the game, which quite frankly makes it all sound rather exciting, especially to a kid in 1981 who's desperate to get a taste of arcade gaming in their own home. My Astro Wars eBay purchase also came with this Grandstand product warranty card, and the lovely little full-colour Grandstand Leisure Products catalogue featuring other Grandstand products including Invader from Space, Shoestring Detective Game, Kevin Keegan's Match of the Day soccer game, Big Game Soccer, the Grandstand Universal Adapter, and 2 radio-controlled vehicles, a Jaguar 100 SS and a more generically styled red dune buggy. The original manual wasn't included, however I was able to download a PDF version thanks to the handheldmuseum.com website, so we can take a look at that on screen now. The manual explains the physical features of the game, power requirements, operating instructions, difficulty selections, and game display aspects, as well as full explanations of how to play each of the 4 phases in the game from start to finish. After flicking the power switch on, we're greeted to a slightly ear-piercing intro tune. The piezoelectric buzzer sound is loud, but tolerable, although it would have been nice if the volume had been dialed down just a little at the factory stage. The intro tune is immediately followed by an attract mode of sorts, which further enhances the arcade cabinet feeling. Pressing the select button changes the skill level of the game. On level 1, only 1 alien will attack at a time. Level 2 increases the speed of gameplay. On level 3, 2 aliens will attack at a time but at normal speed, and level 4 is the most difficult with 2 aliens attacking at a time and at the faster speed. Pressing the start button initiates gameplay, and the game begins at the first of 4 phases. You start with 5 lives, and the number of lives remaining is displayed on screen whenever you take enemy fire or come into contact with a swooping alien. During phase 1 you'll see 3 enemy command ships at the top, but these can't be shot until phase 3 when they begin to attack. The next 2 rows of enemy warships can be shot for 20 and 10 points respectively, and the enemy fighters that swoop down can be shot for 40 or 50 points depending on whether they're moving in straight lines or a zigzag pattern. You have to destroy 10 of these swooping fighters to move to phase 2. In phase 2 you'll be attacked exclusively by squadrons of swooping enemy fighters, moving this time in a more challenging and hard to hit circular pattern. Each fighter is worth 70 points, and phase 3 begins after you've destroyed 10 fighters. Phase 3 is when the 3 enemy command ships come into play. They move sideways and release a barrage of hard to dodge missiles at you. Each ship is worth 100 points, and if you destroy all 3, phase 4 will begin. Phase 4 is a bonus round that will test your manoeuvring and timing skills. You'll need to complete a docking manoeuvre as fast as possible to earn as many bonus points as you can. The Earthship automatically launches its shuttle into space, which then slowly descends back to the ground as a timer counts down. You control the descending shuttle as the Earthship moves back and forth. Each time the shuttle drops, you can move it left or right, aiming to dock with the moving Earthship. If you're off course, you can hold the fire button to activate the shuttle's thruster and fly back upwards for another try. If you manage to dock successfully, you'll receive the number of points left on the countdown timer. Failing to dock will result in 0 points awarded. After phase 4, the game loops back round to phase 1, and gameplay continues until the player hits a score of 10,000 or until all lives are lost. In either of these 2 events you'll hear a different special tune, a sad tune for losing all your lives, and a happy tune to celebrate your 10,000 point victory. Obviously you can get on eBay yourself and pick up one of these classic old gaming machines, but if you don't want to shell out for the real thing, or if you just can't wait that long, you can download and play a perfectly reproduced version of Astro Wars right now on your Android or Apple mobile devices. I've popped links to these in the description, and at the time of filming this video, the Astro Wars app costs 99p on Google Play and £1.99 on the Apple App Store. As you can see and hear, it's a perfectly faithful reproduction of the electronic game, although the touchscreen controls can take a bit of getting used to, with joystick accuracy being a particular issue. They have added helpful arrow buttons underneath the joystick though, and this does help a little. If you're feeling a little more flush, there's also a 4-in-1 collection of games available from the same publisher, Rob Wilmot, for £2.99. It has Astro Wars, Invader from Space, Galaxy Invader 1000, and Blip Electronic Tennis. This is probably worth picking up if you really want the other 3 games, but it's worth noting that the screen on Astro Wars is slightly stretched out in this app, and in my opinion, the whole package is slightly less aesthetically pleasing. Ultimately, it's up to you, and at these prices, it's probably worth just buying both to try them out. As always, I asked for your thoughts about Astro Wars in the community section of my YouTube channel, so here are a few of the comments that you shared over there. Bluesman UK at SRV UK bought one for £15 in the mid-1980s and it still works perfectly. He spent hours playing on it and appreciated not having to pump coins into it, drawing parallels with the arcade cabinets that he used to play on in his local pubs. Jack Hiroshi and his brother got an Astro Wars for Christmas from their dad, and as is often the case, Dad played on it more than the kids did, and they thought this game was glorious with its multiple stages and colour. Gordon Dunsmuir, at Mr. Hypnochef, remembers buying one from his mum's neighbour's catalogue for $29.99. He played the game to death, but was a bit disappointed that the high score only went up to 9,999. David Bowie, 2046's mum, got him one from the K's catalogue for Christmas, but she forgot to buy the batteries, so there was disappointment on Christmas morning. Luckily, he had a mains adapter that worked with the machine, so it was Astro Wars constantly until it was time to go back to school. He tells us it was played with extensively for 6 months before it broke and ended up in landfill. Mark Rowley thinks Astro Wars was a beautifully simple game for simple times. His mum bought him one for Christmas, and on Games Day at school, he was very popular. Do you remember those end-of-term game sessions when we'd all bring our toys into school and just play all day? Those game days were amazing fun. And finally, Mr. Dirkles was unfortunately traumatised by a lack of Astro Wars. He wanted one for Christmas more than anything, and heard his mum and stepdad testing it after buying one for him. Come Christmas morning, however, he received a computer battleships game, as they'd sent Astro Wars back. Seems they weren't very impressed with it. So what are your memories of Astro Wars? Did you get one for Christmas or a birthday? Did you save your pocket money to get one? Or maybe you never had one, but some kid at school brought one into school on one of those bring your toys to school days at the end of term. Whatever your experience is, share them in the comments below. And if you want to be featured in a future Retrospectives video, keep an eye on my various social media platforms, where I'll be asking for your contributions whenever I'm working on something new. I also have a Buy Me a Coffee tip jar if you'd like to say thanks with a small gesture. You'll find all the links in the video description. I'm going to finish the video now with a couple of old Astro Wars TV ads from the 1980s, but first I'd like to thank everyone who shared their comments, to thank you for liking and subscribing, and of course to thank you all for watching Retrospectives.
Deflect the shields activated. Lasers reaching full power. Prepare to engage enemy.
Radar approaching from quadrant 3, warp 5.
Move into range. Full fire.
Direct hit, sir.
Where did they come from? Increased power. Prepare to evade.
We sustain damage.
There. It's your turn.
Astro Wars and Mini Arcade at good stores now. You'll have to be quick. From Grandstand.
All the excitement of the arcade can now be yours, right in your own home. Here comes Galaxy 2 with its magnification screen and space-age sound effects. Imagine the destiny of the universe is in your hands. Can you knock out the attack force before they knock you out? 4 different game actions, including an exciting docking maneuver. The joystick helps you achieve successful docking. If it's arcade action you're looking for, look for Galaxy 2, the home game of space warfare from Epoch.